Symbology of the Bible, Volume 2. Life was a fluke. As was presented in the introduction to the articles, the probability of life existing on this planet is essentially zero. And now, more scientists are realizing this. A recent article in Popular Mechanics reflects this position. In research published in 2020 from Oxford University's Future of Humanity Institute, scientists study the likelihood of key times for evolution of life on Earth and conclude that it would be virtually impossible for that life to evolve the same way somewhere else. By looking at evolution here on Earth, they have made this conclusion. Most of these evolutionary transitions are poorly understood and have not been very well studied by the scientists of likelihoods. And using their model, these scientists say that Earth's series of Goldilocks lottery tickets are more likely to have taken far longer than they really did on Earth. Again, many think that the fossil record is evidence of evolution, but they do not consider alternatives. When you step out of their sandbox, there are many considerations that refute that theory. All the missing links, the requirement of complex molecules to exist before any life can form, the sudden rapid appearance of new species, explained away by punctuated evolution, and the proposal of microevolution, which does not observe new species forming, only physical adaptation by a species. It is much more reasonable to consider an alternate explanation, which doesn't have zero probability, an external agent that uses super advanced tech to accomplish things like universal creation. Certain biological systems are very complex. In addition to a zero statistical possibility of complex molecules to exist, it is even more impossible for these highly complex systems to exist by random, which evolution must be if no external agent is at work. A prime example is the process of photosynthesis in plants. A diagram of the process is above. The energy of photons from the sun is used to split a water molecule to produce a high-energy electron, which is processed through the system so that it can be transferred to another molecule, which will be used in a cyclic multi-step process to produce chemical energy for the plant's cellular activities. This mechanism is so intricate and complex that there is zero probability it arose by numerous successive random processes. It requires us to believe that independent molecules somehow knew how to create this process and assembled it in the proper arrangement to process solar energy. That a seed somehow came into existence by random processes and had the required knowledge to develop into a fully grown organism with a multitude of complex chemical reactions. So, under analysis, the theory fails. The probability is zero, and an alternate theory must exist. As previously presented, it is much more likely and reasonable that life was introduced in stages to acclimate the planet for other life to come afterward. This is what the Oxford University researchers said.
First, we win the lottery for surface temperature and protection from spaceborne dangers. Second, we win the lottery for the presence of building blocks of life. Third, we win the lottery for the right location for the right building blocks. That's before anything like the most primitive single cell has even emerged.
The odds to win a lottery is very low, and to win it 3 times is zero. Again, note the requirement for the existence of complex molecules before any life can form. The randomness required for evolution makes it impossible. Furthermore, another astute observation from the researchers is Scientists study the likelihood of key times for evolution of life on Earth and conclude that it would be virtually impossible for that life to evolve the same way somewhere else. They wonder, how are we the only species that ever has evolved advanced intelligence? Scientists can create things in the lab, but that is the point. They have to do it. It doesn't happen by itself. And given that just one event has zero probability, they acknowledge the problem of it occurring multiple times.
The fact that eukaryotic life took over 1 billion years to emerge from prokaryotic precursors suggests it is a far less probable event than the development of multicellular life, which is thought to have originated independently over 40 times.
Getting off the topic somewhat, but a related subject. If the impossible is abandoned, then the question is, what alternative is to be the best candidate? Below is a global map of Christian populations, and even China and India, which have very large populations of Sikhs, Hindus, and Buddhists, have Christian populations. This reflects the grafting into the vine, which Yahshua taught. John 15 verse 5, I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me ye can do nothing. Romans 11 verse 17, and if some of the branches be broken off, and thou, being a wild olive tree, wert grafted among them, and with them partakest of the root and fatness of the olive tree. 18. Boast not against the branches. But if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. 19. Thou wilt say, then, the branches were broken off, that I might be grafted. 20. Well, because of unbelief they were broken off, and thou standest by faith. Be not high-minded, but fear. 21. For if God spared not the natural branches, take heed, lest he also spare not thee. So, Christians are everywhere in the world, and there is an international language developing. English, the language of the angels. While by pure numbers other languages are spoken by more people, there is only one primary language that is most prevalent among different peoples, the language of the angels.